dokie. Starting a little early. I hope the music is not overwhelming. I've always liked this sound for this, but I always thought it'd make a good intro for my videos, especially as I walk more in my little office area here, and get this more fleshed out. Like right now we're in a presentation room. That picture there is a picture of the intro to my office building. And you know, it's eventually there'll be more rooms. Like there's gonna be a karaoke bar at some point. Right now we're just gonna play Trucking Simulator and just kind of discuss whatever pops in my head. I have a few ideas about. I want to talk about some weird dreams I had, some projects I've tried in the past, and some ideas, thoughts. But anyway, hopefully the intro music isn't too loud, and we're gonna try and shift straight into a game. Let me just wiggle my guy in a second. Let me just wiggle. Wrong button. Wrong button. Oh, the steering wheel jumped. Okay, I need this button, and we're just gonna. Whoop. There we go. We're gonna use this guy for today. Actually, I could maybe move over to my other guy. Let me see. I got a few guys here. Let's just jump on. Which one's that one? Is that LR? Yes, LR. We need that fellow. You run smoother. He's more optimized. So if can I just wiggle? Okay, there we go. Okay, we are pretty much ready, I think. So we're just gonna. Oop, I'm a little small. I'm smaller than I want to be. There we go. That's better. Anyway, we're gonna just jump right into the game. And I haven't picked up any mission yet. Let me double check. Let me double check that sound. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay. Anyway, I haven't picked up a mission yet. We're gonna pick up some mission somewhere. I was thinking I was gonna jump down to. I got a few new DLCs. I got Colorado and New Mexico. I haven't. Okay, I'm gonna probably start in Albuquerque. They got a good distribution center there, and their highway, their overpass system is really nice, and I kind of like driving over it. So we're gonna pick up a job down there, and as we go and pick up, after we find a job and pick it up, we go to start picking it up. I'll get into some ideas and dreams that I don't do Tesla. No. We need shortest trip, so we're gonna actually go by looking at price. That's easy enough, but let's do something a little longer. Empty bottles. Ooh, that one I like. We're gonna do that one. We're gonna do a Walmart truck. A little short boy. Let's just break. Anyway. Oh, hold on. I can't hear very good. And my steering wheel's doing that thing where it acts up again. Okay, there we go. Anyway, I wanted to talk about some of my dreams because I get some really cool ideas from my dreams. Have you ever had a dream where you just kinda think to yourself, that was a really interesting concept, or I wasn't done with that storyline yet, give it back to me? So you like have to go back to sleep and finish the rest of the dream because the story was so crazy or out there or whatever. I've had a few of those. Lock my seat in place. There we go. I've had some dreams like they're nightmares, but they're so far out there that it was like that would make a good story. I had one that I call the Play-Doh Man Factory of Doom. I had this dream. It was actually 4 concurrent dreams, all in the same night. I was just like, no, I'm not done with this, and I kept going back. I dreamt I was outside a factory, like it may have been after I watched the stupid Poppy Playtime video, but I dreamt I was outside a factory, and I walked inside, and they had signs saying, free tour day, tour of the factory, and you get to go inside and look around, and is this guy going? Did I bump him? Oh my god. Am I gonna have to ram him? No, there he goes. I just had to disengage contact with him. Oh my god. Dude. Well, I missed that. Anyway, I went inside the factory in this dream. I went inside the factory. I started looking around. They had flyers, and they had a signboard that kind of like sits like an A-frame outside of a double set of double doors. And I went inside the set of double doors and was like, here's where we create our here's where we do our fabrication of our products, and there's just a big pile of Play-Doh and a wheelbarrow full of Play-Doh. And I'm like, okay. I continue through to the next room, and I walk into the next room, and it's like each room had a little bit more rust around the lights, and a few things like that was going on. Second room, I walked in, and there was a mannequin, and I woke up. And I'm like, whoa, what was the heck was that? So I went back to sleep, and I was back in the second room. And I walked up to this table next to a mannequin. There was a mannequin, in different parts, and there's 2 mannequins. One was built and one was disassembled, and it looked as though they were using them as reference pieces to understand human anatomy. And I walked up to the table, and there was just a mountain of hamburger and a mountain of like blue Play-Doh. So you had pink hamburger on one end of the table and blue Play-Doh on the other end. And I just like, huh. So I walk into the third room, and then I woke up again. I just had to keep going back to sleep to see what happened. But the third room, I fell back to sleep, walked into the third room. The third room, they were mixing the hamburger and the Play-Doh. The hamburger was starting to rot and turn gray. And they were mixing it with the blue Play-Doh. And they were making this bluish gray mixture of hamburger and Play-Doh, and they're starting to form it into like shapes like hands with fingers and feet. And then I woke up again. And then I got back to sleep because I'm like, no, I gotta see where this ends. I went back to sleep. I walked into the fourth room. The fourth room, they were starting to put all the pieces together. But the hamburger was so rotten and mixed with the blue Play-Doh that the hamburger was turning green and the Play-Doh mixture was all just green. The blue Play-Doh and the rotten hamburger turned into a green putty. And they're putting the pieces together. They're putting the feet to the legs and the legs to the, on the hips, and they had a mannequin next to it for a reference of where everything should go. Like they didn't understand what parts of the human body went where, and the things got dingier and dingier as you go down the hallway, and each room was right next to each other. That was the interesting thing. It's like each room was right next to one another with a set of double doors. Like they had a whole assembly line process walked out. And let's see, where am I? Am I good? Okay, let's just straighten ourselves out here a bit. Oop, hold on. Something ain't right. Anyway, they had a whole, I'm gonna finish talking about this. They had a whole, assembly line built where each room they just took the stuff off one table, pushed it into the next room with these little carts, like laundry carts. They have the little wheels at the bottom, and they just kinda, chucked the pieces in there and rolled them in. Come on, I'm right on that, aren't I? Maybe that's the issue. Hold on, let me lower this. There we go. Ooh. I see, I'm a little crooked. I used to be really good at this. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I got to the last room. I could see that they're putting these things together. And there's like a sign over the door that said, "Thank you for your visit." And as you walk through the final door, because it was each room was connecting one after another. So when you get to the final door, you open the final door, there's nothing but stone there. Which I think that thought came to me through the Aperture Laboratories in, like, what is it, Portal 2? Portal 2, the lab was built into a cave that went deeper and deeper and deeper, and I guess Poppy Playtime was actually done the same way. Though they never really expressed that until the second game. But yeah, that's what kind of happened. It was just, whoopsie. Thank you for your patience. Anyway, it was a weird dream, and this guy cutting me off, but I need to go that way anyway. Yeah. But yeah, that was a weird dream I had. It was a scary dream, but it wasn't really all that scary. It was just more intriguing. It's like whatever the creatures were, they were putting together more of them. It was like a Grey Goose scenario. In sci-fi with the nanomachines, there's this thing called a Grey Goose scenario. It's like the robots can make more robots that can then go and produce more robots. But it was kind of like that, but it was like this occult Play-Doh creatures. Whee, boy. I bet I have to back up, otherwise he ain't gonna do nothing. Get going, my dude. Don't back into me. Did he just back farther into me? Get going, my dude. Okay. He ain't even there. No, I had green. Is he still there? Dude. No, he's not. Good. We're gonna pretend none of that happened. But yeah. In that dream, I end up just like running back through all the doors, running backwards through the doors, and I'm like, it all makes sense now. I gotta leave. This is like a really. This one's cool. I usually don't drive in third person. It messes me up really bad. Like when I rammed that car that I didn't even realize was even there. It's hard enough knowing where everything is. Like this. I got all the mirrors set up everywhere. And I'm trying to read notes. But yeah, that was like... No, I ended up like writing that whole story out. And it turned into a 2-page story. And I might actually read the story because for a later thing. I'm gonna do a lot of things for like Halloween. I want to read some green text. I want to read another story, scary story I had of nightmare sort of thing. Except that one was like an alien abduction where I fought him off. But at the end I end up like that was like a really weird dream. I always thought to myself, how would aliens like get into an apartment on like way up on the top floor? And they're like in the hallway trying to get in. And there's bright lights. That was a crazy dream. And I thought, in the dream, I end up calling for help. And when the emergency personnel finally showed up, it's like they just took me to insane asylum, and I woke up. I'm like, yeah, that was a mistake on that one. Like, yeah, tell them little green men were coming to take me. Yeah, that was a good dream. I thought that'd make a great video game. And I started working on the video game, and I realized, oh man, it would have to be so detailed because the whole event would have to take place within a like 800 square feet, and then that would be like, and then it'd be extremely short still. But I thought that would be a cool video game idea. That was a weird dream I had that I thought would just make a great game. I think someone actually made an alien abduction game kind of like that, where you're in like a farmhouse. It was pretty cool. It's like you don't need a whole open world to tell a good story. But I'm thinking for like a Halloween special, I'm gonna find my script to the Play-Doh Man story, because I put a little flair on it, and it's more coherent if I like read it instead of trying to play a game while discussing it. Oh, nope, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. Okay. But I also wanted to, like, dig through my paranormal files. A long time ago, back when I used to browse 4chan more often before they got too way too political. Oh god, is my exit closed? I only want this to be a 30-minute stream. Hold on. We're seeing where else we can walk our way into the city. Okay, it's done. Altered course. We're gonna go through Las Cruces? I don't know. But I got a bunch of paranormal stories. Back a long time ago, they still do it on 4chan. It's called green text. When someone had a story and they wanted to make sure that they could separate, say, like dialogue or storyline from each other or something, you know, or events from, you know, annotations. People would put events in green text and then they'd annotate it in normal text. So the actual story was in green text, and then, you know, they had whatever else they want to talk about in normal text. But green text stories on the paranormal board was where people, you would, like, basically gather around the campfire, tell their tales from the dark, you know, to give each other goosebumps. You know, the proverbial tales from the crypt. Come on, how many more of these references can I fit in? Damn, I think I ran out of them. But, you know, it's just their little, you know, their stories from the Twilight Zone. That one didn't fit in good enough. I'm sorry about that one. But yeah, anyway, the green text. I want to read a bunch of green text for Halloween. One of my personal all-time favorites being the story of Ghost Puncher. Ghost Puncher, to summarize, it's actually quite a long story, but to summarize, Ghost Puncher is about this guy who has a friend who moved into a haunted apartment, and he goes on a roid rage rampage complaining about how the ghosts are haunting him. They call a preacher, and I guess the guy douses his hands in holy water and just starts punching the ghosts. But there's more to it than that. It's quite a vibrant story, if I can find the green text in my files. So, that's something I'd like to read, amongst some other ones. I also kind of wanted to just, you know, I talked about the Play-Doh Man of Doom, or the Play-Doh Man Factory of Doom. I talked about the alien abduction dream that I thought about making the game out of. I like to try a lot of different things and do a lot of different things. I've tried, over the last 8 years, I've tried programming, game design, web design. I've dabbled with YouTube a few different times. But, you know, my ADHD takes me wherever the hell I want to go with things, so there's never one solid thing that I'm ever walking on. We running way too fast. I'm just gonna let it drop back. But yeah, I messed with programming. I wanted to make a video game like PlanetSide, and I got a bunch of models done, but I was having trouble. I still have a little bit of trouble with animation. But my 3D modeling, I'm not very great at it. I'm too much of a perfectionist. Everything has to be uniform. I like rounded numbers for some stupid reason, and there's just all these little hitches I have. Still going over the speed limit. But, you know, and when you make a video game, you don't realize there's all these itty bitty pieces that need to be in there as well that you don't even think about. You know, you'll be playing a game and you'll see a stupid coffee mug on a table and you'll just, it won't even register. But if that coffee mug is not on that damn table, like with my little production area, you'll probably notice it when we get back to my VTube studio, or my presentation room of my office for my VTuber, which wasn't even originally meant for the VTuber. It was actually just something I was making for something else. Oh, hold on. Come on. There we go. I had never shifted my gears down. That was my bad. But originally that office space was gonna have a green screen and I was actually gonna stand in it. But that went. But then I found out about VTubing and I found out how to make a VTuber. I wanted to make my VTuber from scratch, which was that guy you saw at the beginning. So it's like that's my from scratch VTuber. I mean, I modeled that thing from start to finish. I learned about the necessary bone structure for Unity to acknowledge a humanoid, and you know, you gotta have all the fingers. It's ridiculous. It's much easier to do the VCME or what are these? These are Vroid Studios. So that's why it's that's why my character looks very generic at the moment. This is actually a Vroid Studio creation, which is kind of like making a sim. Though I'm probably the one and only person with a decent looking beard in that program, because I painted the beard as makeup and I made sure. Ooh, oops. I got the bulpies. I painted my beard from scratch, and I actually tried to like get some depth in there. There ain't quite as much depth as I'd like on this beard, but it's actually painted on, much like everything else. You know, in this outfit, this tracksuit took me about, I don't know, 7 hours to sketch up. Even though I just made a pattern, I had to make sure the pattern would be, how do I put it? When the US military, or any military for that matter, creates a camouflage pattern, they have to make sure that the pattern can be seen close up as well as far away, which means you have a macro pattern and a micro pattern. So under the right circumstances, oh my god, under the right that was a wreck back there, like that was a major wreck. But under the right circumstances, oh my, what is going on? Okay, that's actually a planned wreck there, but that last one was just NPCs going crazy. This last update feels like I'm gliding on ice, and I don't know what. Anyway, my tracksuit that I'm wearing, it's got a macro pattern, which you're probably seeing right now, and there's a micro pattern. You know, it's plaid. And I knew when I designed this plaid that the plaid would either fade in or fade out depending on how close to the camera I am. So I made sure to do like the military tries to do. The army failed actually with one of their uniforms. But I tried to make sure there was a macro pattern on top of the micro pattern. So, and that's why my plaid actually appears really nice. You know, I got the white stripes in there, but when you zoom out so far, the white stripes disappear and you're just left with the red stripes. So it's not like it's completely killing your eyes. But there's interweaving white stripes around the red stripes, which can be seen at closer up and better resolutions. Why do I have my blinker on? But yeah, my 3D modeling got me into a lot of different things. I tried 3D modeling, went into video game. I almost got a video game done. I'm gonna do a presentation on that one day. Once I get through finding, I lost some of my, I was trying really hard to keep an archive of everything I did, but it kept getting more and more like lost in other folders that it shouldn't have been in, and now I'm finding more and more beta snapshots or alpha snapshots. So, oh, is that guy broke down or something? Oh my gosh, come on, bro. That's a garbage man. Anyway, I'm trying to make sure I have everything I can to present on that before I present it, because I do want to do where I messed up video on my video games. My web design, I'm actually fairly decent at web design. I'm getting better at JavaScripting too. I've been working on JavaScript, a lot of JavaScript. So, a lot more JavaScript, I actually got a way to lock my web browser. So if I'm, say, at the coffee shop, I can lock the web browser where people can't get into Sultan bookmarks. All my bookmarks are on web pages that I designed. So when I turn on my computer, I have it set up so when I turn on my computer, my web browser starts. And then when my web browser starts up, it loads all my hold on. It loads all my main bookmarks like Facebook. Oh, come on. Anyway, when my computer starts up, it loads all the shortcuts for Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It has some other shortcut. Oops, sorry, I bought a mic. It has some other shortcuts for my college access, so I can get into my classes easier. But I have those password protected, where I have to type in a special password that I programmed in there, so no one can like access that without. Come on, what is wrong with me? I may end up just having to hit the enter button. I'm talking and trying to. Yeah, we're just gonna like ignore all rules and just like do this. Come on, bro. This thing went way off. But anyway, I got it where, like, people can't access my bookmarks, because if someone was smart, they could, like, you know, walk up to your computer and look at your bookmarks by opening up the bookmarks tab if they're familiar with, say, that say someone's familiar with that web browser, they could look at your bookmarks while you go and use the toilet. So all my bookmarks are actually in an HTML file that I can only access. Oopsie. That I can only access through another HTML file because it's hidden so deep within my program files in my computer. And you have to know the password to get it to open up the link. Either that or you have to open up a debugging window and go through my whole like 2000 you have to go through like my whole 2000 lines of code on my HTML file just to find the file location, and then you have to go and find the file. So it's like there's so many layers of like complexity to it that I have so many layers. I'm an onion. But or no, I take that back. I'm not an onion. I'm a parfait. You know, I mean, I know they say, you know, an onion gets, you know, you get layers, but I prefer my layers to be more sweet. Or at least I think they're sweeter. Anyway, I'm gonna fuel up, and I may end up cutting the stream here in a minute, but you know, I've tried a lot of different things, but my ADHD always got in the way, and I end up wanting to do something else later. Before I moved out of my parents', I had like a woodworking area in like the garage, and I would like tinker with, I'd try and carve things, and I'd try and like make things, and nothing ever was ever quite right. It's just like, it was just a weird thing. But when I moved to an apartment and I didn't have like room for that, I went like digital, and I just went into everything digital. Programming, game design, web design. I tried YouTube because I had like 300 gigabytes of data a month back then, and I wanted to use it, so why the heck not? I don't know. You know, I've tried a lot of different things, but I don't know. I've probably like rambled enough. Let's kind of bounce back to where we can log out. Let's see if we can't like maybe jump back here and just kind of have a natural conclusion on some thoughts. Oh, giant! Oh god. I must have ate something wrong. It was all bloaty. There we go, that's better. Okay. I don't know why my head's always... My head's like never on straight here. There we go. Anyways, I just kind of discussed dreams and ideas and how I bounce around from different topics and hobbies, and how this is gonna be a hobby for a while, and hopefully I can keep up with the schedule. I may have to cut back on the schedule. I may have to either cut out a weekday or a weekend. The weekend streams, like this one, are usually like an hour or two long, and that's bad. That uses up a lot of data. I only have about 50 gigs, and sometimes my computer messes with me. Oh, I got it. Messes with me and uses up all my internet on updates, so that's kind of an issue. And I can't always have a meme set up I can't always have memes ready because, oh god, my backlog of saved images is like 16,000 images or 30,000. I'm losing track, man. And it's spread across like my old phone and my new phone, and I gotta get everything off my old phone before I get everything off my new phone and organize what I already got on my computer. I got about 3,000 images I still gotta sort through. A lot of my nostalgia pictures, I want to go through like 90s nostalgia stuff like from my childhood, and half those pictures are on my new phone and aren't really organized. And every time I go through the photos, I gotta make sure there's nothing inappropriate because I don't want no bad words. Even though this isn't for children, my content is not for kids. It is for grown-ups because every once in a while I might say a swear, or I might like think of something stupidly ridiculous that may not be fully appropriate. So, but still, I like to make sure my memes are for the most part wholesome. I want to make sure they're as wholesome as I can get them. So, hold on, let me check something. Is my audio working? Yeah, that audio's working. That audio is kind of working. I don't know if that audio worked or not. Anyway, but yeah, I may be cutting back some of my streams. I don't know which. I may cut like the Monday or the Tuesday or the Thursday. I may end up turning that into a Wednesday thing. Or maybe not a Wednesday thing. It'd have to be a Thursday thing. I have school Tuesdays and Thursday. So when I do a stream, it's usually after a class or on a Sunday like now, but really these Sundays aren't good because I have to have homework done through the weekend ready for the next week. No matter what, there's always going to be homework lined up, so I try to do it after I turn an assignment on Tuesday or Thursday, and then on the weekend I know I always have a Sunday evening to myself, so that's how I've kind of planned it. But the amount of work that goes into like this more high quality, the work that goes into more high quality video, like the meme formats and the cats and that I'm gonna push into the meme format, those take up a lot of time to gather up all the memes, get them into a presentable manner. I've found out there's limitations to the slideshows, so the slideshows have to be properly set up into separate folders where I bring in another folder, then I erase that folder, bring in another folder, and erase that folder, and have the folders in line, in order, to make sure I can quickly transition from one to the other. And for the higher quality content, I like to find the memes with text on them, top text, bottom text on the memes. That way I can read them and throw a little flair, and there's a lot of things. And some of it don't have it, and I like to keep things organized. Like I'm going to be doing nostalgia by like food, like the fast food restaurants of how they used to be to now, and I'm going to do all sorts of things. But yeah, it takes a lot of time, and I don't have a lot of time. And I'm constantly in a struggle between homework, chores, family, and just this and life. So there's a lot going on, so I can't really put out as much as I'd love to. But I think we're just going to cut it here and say that we had a good little stream. And I went through a lot of subject matter. I discussed some things, and I want to make sure I got things ready for the Halloween special over the meme format thingy. And the Halloween special may actually interrupt. let's see. Halloween is the 31st, so I want to cut this one short because it's going to use up a lot of data, and I used up too much data in the last stream. So Halloween special is either going to be on Sunday or Monday. I may be too busy Monday with my child's Halloween, so I may end up doing do the Halloween special Sunday to make sure I get it in, and that may actually bump the Euro Truck Simulator to the next week and make this whole week by week format backlogged, or maybe I'll just do a super short Euro Truck Simulator and then jump straight into the Halloween right after. So if I can do like a stream, a 30-40 minute stream like I did today, I could jump straight into the next one more or less uninterrupted, other than stopping and starting stream. So yep, that is the idea, and I hope anyone who watched me ramble through all this nonsense has a good day, and goodbye.